Welcome to Resting Binge Face, where two friends binge watch seasons of TV shows and then we talk about it. I'm Adam McCoy.
And I'm Amanda Kathleen. Adam and I work in TV. We watch a lot of TV. If we had AOL Instant Messenger screen names, now it would be Binge Face 69. You got to put the 69 at the end.
You got to put it in there.
Yeah.
It's required.
It's required. So that leads us into what we were watching this week, PEN15.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
PEN15.
Oh, not penis?
No, not penis.
Okay. Just checking.
You're not part of the PEN15 club? So it took me like half a season to realize that PEN15 was penis. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
It was the joke going around?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's right.
Haha. Middle schoolers are hilarious.
They're so funny.
And clever.
I know. So we're binging PEN15 season 1 this week, and Adam's going to drop some knowledge on us.
The show was created by Anna Konkle and Maya Erskine. Maya Erskine.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Also, it was executive produced by a couple people from Lonely Island that you may know.
Oh?
Andy Samberg.
What?
Jorma Tacone. I'm horrible with names. Let's just say that.
Just say Jorma. Andy and Jorma.
Andy and Jorma. And the other one. So all three of the Lonely Island guys.
Oh, all three?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said a couple.
Well, yeah, it was just not a couple.
Oh, okay. So the Lonely Island produced it.
Yeah, with a lot of other people. It took a while for the show to get made. It actually took like 3 or 4 years for somebody to pick it up.
Oh, okay.
But there was some buzz behind it, and people were kind of excited about it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
The two stars created the show.
Mm-hmm.
They actually met in college in experimental theater at NYU.
Oh, okay.
Go figure, experimental theater, right? And they said that they created this because they weren't really cast in any roles that were different.
Right.
Like everything they were being cast in was kind of just very cookie cutter. You're the Chinese waitress. You're this person. You're that. So they created this thinking, well, maybe we could do it. And they brought in a friend of theirs who was like, you should just play the role straight.
Right.
Just don't even explain why you guys are doing this while you're adults, playing 13-year-olds, and just run with it. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
So some people might not get it when they watch it for the first time.
Well, I have friends, that didn't get it.
Other people are like, yes.
That was me. I was like, yes, I am all about this.
And a couple interesting facts. So in the show, Maya's mother is actually played by her real-life mother.
Oh.
She cast her to play her.
That's good.
Even though she said she really can't act.
Right.
But she still cast her in the role. And also in the show, you'll notice that her father is a drummer for a band. Well, her father really is a real-life drummer. Peter Erskine is a famous jazz drummer, and he's played for Joni Mitchell and even Steely Dan.
Oh,
He's
wow.
been featured on there. And what I thought was interesting was them talking about how they got into the roles and playing the awkward preteens.
Yeah.
So one had a retainer, one had braces that they wore. They taped their breasts down, so they weren't developed yet. They also wore actual children's clothing, which didn't quite fit right in the right spot.
Right.
So it was awkward and kind of uncomfortable. And they actually put extra mustache hair and eyebrow hair on their faces to make them look a little more awkward.
Pubescent.
So, I guess pubescent.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's how they prepared for the roles, and I think they pulled it off.
Yeah. They did a great job. Are you done dropping knowledge on
I'm
us?
done dropping knowledge, yeah.
Adam's done dropping knowledge. We're going to get into PEN15. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. It's very hilarious.
It's very funny.
Very funny, especially if you grew up during that time. Mm-hmm. Like I was in 8th grade in the year 2000.
Yeah, you'll get some of the references for sure.
For sure. It's definitely hilarious. So please watch it. If not, whatever. We're going to do a light overview, so we're not going to ruin too much.
There's not really much spoilers in this. It's not that kind of show where you can really spoil
right.
things. You're watching it more for the experience in each episode than a story arc.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, the ending was so
insane.
Yeah.
It's
13-year-olds.
They're 13-year-olds. All you got to know is they're grown-ass women playing 13-year-olds. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Gold. Awkward gold.
So, overview, PEN15. Pretty much 2 13-year-old girls starting 7th grade in the year 2000. That's pretty much it.
There you go. All right.
That's pretty much the overview.
And this one quickly.
And they go through classic topics to cover, like fitting in, underage drinking, the classic.
Yep.
The internet at the time. Classic topic, masturbation, which is hilarious, by the way. Periods, fighting with your friends, and first dances.
First kiss.
First kiss. Sloppy
Slop.
first kiss. Pretty much anything.
And mixed CDs.
Right. Not relevant now, but yeah, back then.
Yeah,
mixed
back then,
CDs.
totally.
Yeah, totally. 100% mixed CDs. So, basic middle school topics, anxieties, awkwardness, run the gamut. Just in the 2000s.
Yeah, with adults playing the 13-year-old.
I love the show. I think it was fantastic. It's just so awkward and
Yes.
and just like I have to look away at various moments of awkwardness.
Well, because also they're playing with actual teenagers and 13 and
Right.
14-year-olds are playing.
Yeah.
But these are 30-year-old women
These are 30-year-old
playing
women.
these roles. So it adds to the awkwardness, which I think helps.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to, they feel awkward this time. We all feel awkward at that time.
Yeah.
So you're just watching them. You're already one step closer to feeling awkward.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that woman's actually 31 years old and she's about to make out with a 13-year-old. Oh, that's weird.
Which they shot it very very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so basically you just see like the kid's face and then her face and then they cut to a shot of someone making out. Obviously it's probably like two adults making out.
Yeah, probably.
And they're just intercutting it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done very well.
Yeah.
It's also like very awkward too. So it's like obviously your first kiss is very very awkward.
Not smooth.
No.
Okay.
Not like as you dream it will be.
Speak for yourself.
Just a bunch of awkwardness.
Yeah.
Which is
Just
great.
jam-packed with awkwardness.
And I think it's very relatable. Well, especially for me, because it's two girls going through stuff. So it's very relatable on the girl end.
Mm-hmm.
Of like
Not as relatable to me on all that stuff.
Right.
A little more awkward for me because I have a 13-year-old daughter now.
Right. So she's going to go through all
so
that.
I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to watch this. But the awkwardness I can relate to, and it was very funny, and it was well done. So.
Yeah. And they have like a great even though it's silly and they go through silly moments, it does have like a nice
Poignant
undertone.
and very,
Yeah. Where like one of the girls, her parents are going through a divorce, and that's an underlining thing, and
it bubbles up, and that's what I was thinking. Like I didn't know much about them before, the two actresses who played this before I saw it, and towards the end, it's like it was very believable of them being 13-year-olds, and they actually were very good at acting, not just like crazy comedy.
Right. Yeah.
Some of the stuff is just insanely. She literally does an Ace Ventura impression for.
She literally does an Ace Ventura
talking with her
butt. Yeah.
So, but they go from that extreme to the other. So it was, it became very believable at the end. You forget they're really not 13-year-olds at certain points. You don't forget it really, but it blends in.
It blends in a little bit. What were your favorite moments, Adam?
I think the craziness of Anna's character, Maya. Sorry, the craziness of Maya's character, and just off the wall, what you'd say, and how extreme she would get with certain things. Was funny, and the thong episode.
Oh my god, the thong episode was hilarious. Oh my god.
So I think those definitely the more extreme, just kind of left turn crazy stuff that happened was probably my favorite, just because it was so off the wall and weird, and she did such a good job of playing that part. I think was my favorite.
I love. She has a thong on. She's just like looking at her butt in the mirror. She's like bouncing it. She's just like, she's like so cool. She's like,
talking on the phone, not even listening.
Yeah. And then like the next day, her like strutting down.
Everything changes. That's
Everything
all it
changes.
Takes.
Just the confidence of a thong.
So they end up swapping back and forth.
Yes.
Every period, like throughout the day, which is hilarious.
I also the AIM episode is like one of my favorite episodes because like legit
relatable.
That was my life in middle school.
Still a lot of chat rooms, huh?
A lot of chat rooms, a lot of talking to friends, a lot of trying to figure out your screen name. I think my username was like AI Clueless because like my favorite movie was Clueless.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that was
continuing the teen theme.
Mm-hmm. Did you have an AIM name?
I still have this for my couple email addresses. Spamberry Pie.
That was your AIM?
Nobody ever took that. It was always available, no matter what format I went to. So, that was mine.
That was your number one.
My go-to. I got spam from the Monty Python sketch.
Oh,
Spam. Yeah. Not Clueless.
No.
Monty Python.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Comically, they're both equivalent, I think.
Yeah. 100%. And definitely the dial-up. I think maybe by the time I was in high school, the dial-up was no longer, like it was 2 separate lines, possibly. You could just be on the internet and then have a phone. But I definitely remember prior to that, the dial-up, like, get off the phone!
Or get off the internet. I'm trying to use the phone.
Trying to use a phone! That, the mix CD, it was just pretty much my life.
There you go, yeah. It was just like, oh, look, they just opened a book to my life, and there it is.
Totally relatable to everything.
I think what was interesting, what I liked about it was how there's not really a lot of stuff about girls growing up at that age and all the things that they encounter, like the whole American Pie, like the whole guys do this.
No, that was
there
nothing.
There really isn't that thing for girls or young women,
right.
I guess, which is interesting to see, and like they just went for it.
Yeah, they just went for it.
Which is good, I think.
All the topics were fantastic. And I know that I think I watched a video of Maya talking about her masturbation and like she was like, I was pretty much the only girl that was doing it. Like, that's how I feel. I'm just going to showcase it in the show. It was a whole episode of that.
Yeah. And they didn't shy away from it at all.
I think it's the most awkward and most hilarious episode. It's just
again, her commitment.
Her commitment to that was fantastic. It was great. I think the show all around.
Yeah, I really don't have
great.
I don't have a pet peeve with the show because it's just such a different thing.
It is.
And it's not the basic narrative you see in a
right.
TV show. You're like, oh, they fell for the... I mean, it's so different.
It is.
It's not like a trope that it has.
No.
It's like, you've never seen a show where 30-year-olds are playing 13-year-olds.
It almost feels like a revival of Napoleon Dynamite, almost.
Kind of, yeah. I could see that.
Like, it just feels like watching that again, which was around the same time. Like, it came out, like, a couple of years after.
Yeah.
Like 2004 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like we're just watching that over again.
Napoleon Dynamite seems like it's actually set, like it has a feeling of like that late 90s feel. It just feels older than it was. Yeah, I can see that kind of being a continuation of that. That feel, at least.
Yeah, so I like that whole aesthetic of that. Obviously, everything Spice Girls referenced in it.
Yeah.
100%. Especially when they're trying to pick out the characters, because you always went through that, like as a girl. Like, you always wanted to be like a specific Spice Girl. And if someone else wanted to be that Spice Girl also, you're like, but I'm that Spice Girl.
Oh, I've never experienced that. It was Ninja Turtles for me.
It was Ninja Turtles, yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. Same difference. I was always Sporty Spice because I was a tomboy. So Sporty Spice was my number one.
I didn't know that girls did that much. Like, we got to be the Spice Girls because they're awesome.
Oh, 100%. Like, I would go over to my cousin's house.
I tell you what, I really, really want to be a Spice Girl.
My cousin had all the dolls. And so, like, every time we would go over to her house, we would just play Spice Girls all the time. 100%.
There you go.
So, and the music.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole series was fantastic. Especially during the dance scene. I was, like, singing, like, every song. Yeah. I was like, this is so great. I was like, kids these days are not going to be, they're going to be like, what's that song?
Well, kids these days aren't going to be watching this because it's a TV mature.
Oh, they're watching it. It's on Hulu. They're sneaking it. Come on. I almost feel like your daughter should watch it just to be like, you don't have to have any awkward conversation with her. Just be like, look, just watch the show.
Because they handle everything perfectly.
You're great.
Do exactly what they do. And everything will be just fine.
It'll be more like, watch this and then don't do what they do. You'll be fantastic.
You sold me. That's what I'm doing.
Do you have any favorite episodes?
The thong episode.
And
actually, the second to last episode, I really enjoyed, where Anna comes to stay at Maya's house when her parents go off.
Yeah.
Because it is again, not being able to relate to a lot of specifically what they were going through. I remember the feeling of if you ever stayed at somebody's house on a school night, it was a weird and different thing.
Yeah.
And then the whole Maya's jealous that Anna's getting attention at her house.
Yeah.
I think that was a good episode. I enjoyed that one. It wasn't as funny as the thong episode.
No, but it was definitely relatable about...
Even when the brother was putting farts in her face. Mad that, I poop too.
I poop too.
So those two are probably my favorite episodes.
I think my favorite is the AIM one. Definitely the thong. Oh, the first kiss, the Wild Things. Yeah. They're watching Wild Things. And they're like, they have to do like the telephone.
Yeah.
Like,
he wants to do this.
He said he wants to like make out with you. Yeah. And they're like, why didn't you not just ask me?
And then I'm going to get up and leave and just not say anything.
Yeah.
Wait for you to follow. Yeah.
And like the whole kiss is like awkward. And I was talking to my friend this weekend. She was talking about her first kiss, how like this dude like kissed her like over the mouth. And like that was literally what was happening on the show.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
It's a weird thing to think about how guys first try to kiss. Either it is the jackhammer approach, or like I have no idea. So just like I'm just gonna open and go for it.
like fish it out.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's supposed to go.
That's exactly how
She
you're supposed to do
loved
it.
that.
I mean, and they're watching Wild Things.
Yeah,
I mean, they're kissing in Wild Things.
and other things.
Get some pointers, man. Right. I still haven't seen Wild Things.
You're not missing much.
I know. Just boobs.
Yeah.
That's all I'm missing.
Boobs.
Boobs. Bingeability.
I'm gonna give it a solid 4 for me.
I was gonna give it a 4 too,
There you go. Yeah.
because there's moments where it's really awkward, and I'm just like, I have to take a break of this.
Well, it's very bingeable because there's shorter episodes.
They're short.
It's only 10 episodes, so it's an easy watch.
It is.
I don't think I felt like at any point like I've just got to see what happens next.
No, but
Right after it. So, but I still wanted to see, but it wasn't like on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You really got to watch, in the next 30 seconds.
Right. But you wanted to watch it.
Oh yeah, I wanted to watch
it's
it.
like,
I watched it all, but it wasn't.
You watch an episode and you're like, oh my god, that's so awkward, and the next one starts and you're like, okay, maybe I'll watch it. But I give it a 4. 4 for awkwardness. If it was a little less awkward, I would have binged more of it.
I could see that, but also awkwardness is kind of what.
I know it's what drives the show. I know.
If it wasn't, it would be kind of a. What are they
What's
trying
the
to
point?
do?
What's the point
Oh,
here?
now you're playing kids.
Right.
But that's what makes it.
That's what makes it special.
Yeah. That's what makes it PEN15.
I wonder why they call it PEN15. Like.
Yeah, why they chose that.
Why they chose that name.
I don't know why. Maybe just to add one extra bit
element
of awkwardness to, to relate. Which I had never heard of that bit. I was a senior in 2000, so maybe it wasn't around when I was doing it. But the whole, do you want to join Club
the
PEN15?
Yeah.
And they would write it on your hand.
Well, I had not.
And it would look like penis.
I don't think no one ever like asked me that when I was in middle school, but apparently my husband was all about it because I was watching the last couple episodes and he was like, PEN15, haha, you want to join the PEN15 club? I was like,
what?
I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, what are you talking about? The PEN15 club. You go around, write on people's hands, and be like, do you want to be in the PEN15 club? And they're walking around with penis on their hands and they don't know. It's so
hilarious.
funny.
We love to make kids feel awkward.
So I was like, no one ever wrote that on my hand. I guess I wasn't cool enough.
That's right. You're too cool for a penis in the hand. I mean, on the hand.
I wasn't cool enough for a penis on the hand.
Well, I have a Stump Amanda question for you.
Oh, you do?
It's a little bit different. If you could go back in time to middle school / early high school,
okay,
Amanda,
okay,
what would be the 3 things you would? What advice would you give yourself, or what would you tell you?
Ooh, this is a serious question.
Well, it can be.
Okay, the 3 things I would tell young Amanda. I would say, don't worry too much about what people think about you. You're cool the way you are.
All right, go with Mr. Rogers' approach.
Right.
You're special just the way you are.
You're special just the way you are. 2, emo will die. So don't get too hung up on
Don't
it.
embrace it too much.
You know what I'm saying? Just, like it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe venture out to some other bands. But don't get too strung up on it. And then I would also say keep playing guitar.
Oh.
Because it's a profitable thing to know how to play guitar.
There you go.
Just in case you don't have a job or whatever, you can go on the street, play guitar. You'll get some cash out of that.
Busk for some money.
Exactly. So I think that's what I would.
Okay.
Those are the 3 things I would tell
That's
young
good,
Amanda.
Good sound advice.
What would you tell young
Mine
Adam?
would be MySpace is going to die.
Don't get
Don't get sucked
into
into MySpace. Invest in Panera Bread.
Oh.
Because it's a cash cow.
Did that come out around that time?
It was, around 2003 is when it kind of started, and then it became huge.
Yeah.
Stock was like nothing. Anyway.
Anyways.
Everyone else is going to say Google or Apple, whatever. No, Panera Bread, because nobody was buying
Also, FYI, if you ever see something for Snapchat, invest immediately.
Yes. And also, you're going to seem like a real fortune teller. You're going to tell everybody, one day Donald Trump is going to be president. And they're going to think you're crazy for 20 years. And it's going to be like, he was right this whole time. That's what I would do.
That's what you would do.
Yeah.
You want to go back, like, Back to the Future style, like, be like, look, the Cubs are going to win.
Yes, they will eventually.
They will win in this year.
Yeah, bet on it
put
now.
all your money on it.
Yeah.
No.
No. I think Panera Bread's better.
Panera Bread's
Yeah.
better.
Mhm.
Stock in Panera Bread.
Yeah. Then I could eat whenever I wanted to, get some sort of membership loyalty card
Oh,
because I own half the company.
Right.
Now. I'll be set.
You set for life.
Mm-hmm.
All the sandwiches.
All the sandwiches and soup I can have.
I could just see your kids now. Dad, I'm sick of sandwiches.
They're free. Shut up and eat them. And by the way, Donald Trump's going to be president. So eat your
eat your sandwiches.
While you still can.
Because the apocalypse is coming. We need all the sandwiches.
That's right.
What's happening next week, Adam?
I don't want to wait for this show to be over. I want it to be over now. Because we're going to be binging Dawson's Creek.
Oh.
Season 1.
I was a little too young at the time. Adam was a little too old.
/ disinterested.
He had an old soul at the time.
Yeah.
So neither of us had watched it.
I had friends who watched it, and I made fun of them relentlessly.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I have caught a few episodes in the past several years on cable. And I'm like, how did the show make it this long? It was on for several years,
It was on
right?
for forever.
Well beyond high school.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Didn't they go to college?
I don't know.
I
I know I was living in North Carolina when it was filmed there.
Oh.
And it was a big deal. At least parts of it was filmed there. And I still didn't watch it.
Haven't seen it.
Well, we will.
We're going to attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to watch it.
I know it's got the kid from Mighty Ducks in it.
Pacey.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his name. I don't know if...
Charlie's his name in Mighty Ducks. So I do know that.
I know there's a Pacey, and I know there's a Dawson. And I know Michelle Williams is in it. And I know... What's-her-face that was married to Tom Cruise was in it. Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
I know that. I don't know if Katie Holmes' name is Pacey. I think
Joshua
Pacey, Jackson's name is Pacey.
The guy, I think Charlie is Pacey.
Okay.
I'm not going to call him.
You're not going to call him Joshua Jackson?
It's going to be Charlie the whole time. Flying V, baby, flying V. Don't be such a cake eater, Amanda.
Gosh. I'm just going to sing the song the entire time.
No.
I don't want to wait.
I'm trying to see which is, if this will be the worst one that I've seen so far.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
you're going to like it more than
Riverdale.
Riverdale.
Worse yeah, it may be better than Riverdale. It's because I may relate to more of the
for sure.
timeline, at least.
For sure, yeah.
So, here's to hoping it's better than Riverdale.
Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. If you want to leave us a comment about how you grew up in the 2000s and how it was also very awkward, or how you watch the show and you're like, wow, I could never grow up in the 2000s. That was lame.
They didn't have any cell phones at all.
What's happening here? You had to call on the phone.
A landline.
It would be busy.
You would chat without knowing somebody and just assume they look like something. Just randomly.
Lame.
Stupid.
Dumb.
It was the best.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you bingers next week.
Bye.